Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences, my dear fellow Angelinos. Welcome back to the East-West Show, Jack Chow, with G&E TV. Today, I make the last call. When I say last call, I mean that this is quite necessary for you to get to the detention of it, because LA is getting a lot of trouble. LA needs to be rescued. As a county, we can't afford seeing what we see now on a day-to-day basis, right? And I came across an ad yesterday saying that LA crime, as a county, crime rate is skyrocketing, right? Why skyrocketing? Why can't we put a stop to it? So now we have a moment to do it. We have a chance to do it. Thanks to the system of democracy, every now and then we have a moment to correct what we have been wrong.
That's right.
What we have been wrong means that we put somebody, or somebody put somebody not qualified for that on the position, and we have to correct it. The one who can do it is my dear brother, Mr. Bob Lindsay. So welcome back to the show once again.
Thank you, Jack. It's great to be here.
All right, good. And by the way, my dear friend, the digital time, you always sometimes bothered by your cell phone go off, your alarm go off. Well, I got a new one. I got a new one. I did not even know how to silence it. I have to kill the whole thing every time, all right? Anybody who knows how to do it, call me. Or send me via the email, all right? Tell my DJ how to operate phone at gne.com.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Tell my DJ at the gmail.com. All right, good. Back to the show. I'm kidding. Yes, seriously, we not only see what we see on the ad, though. People do see the dangerous situation that we're in, right? So we really want to find out why they support you and what you can do in that case, right? However, during the last 2 weeks, that since I saw you last, how the development, how the situation of your campaign develops.
Well, the campaign is going great. We have been out in the community, Jack, and I'll tell you, people are beginning to learn the truth, but I think the problem is politics. You know, when you put politics into law enforcement, it's a problem. And the current sheriff is now sending things out to the community. It's like a flyer. And it says, vote for me, crime is down. Well, I'm hoping that nobody actually believes that, because that's a lie. It's not the truth.
Well, could that be a debate? Is it up or is it down?
No, it's way up. It's up.
I know.
It's not a debate.
Why would everybody believe him that the crime rate is down unless it is really down?
Well, because people want to believe their sheriff. You know, a sheriff is supposed to tell the truth. The sheriff is supposed to be in the community advising them. If crime is up, just say crime is up, and then help the community to be safe and tell them how to stay safe. But you don't tell them crime is down to keep it a secret. And that's what's going on right now. And I'll give you an example. He's saying crime is down when in fact homicides, murders, the worst thing that could ever happen, is up 56% in LA County. Now listen, that's not me saying it. That is the FBI. It's the federal government telling the truth about LA County, while the sheriff is saying it's down.
On another elevation, though, I believe to lie to the people that you are protecting sounds like a crime to me.
Well, it's
not a moral issue only. I'm talking about being lied. I will say a crime being committed.
Well, it's not an official report, so it's in the newspapers. The newspapers don't tell the truth all the time.
No, newspaper. When you spread news, though, you want to be held responsible for the authenticity of the news.
Right, but so does the news. Now, if you reported here on this show that crime was down, and then somebody came in and said, but Jack, that's not right, and here's the proof, what would you do? You'd go back on TV, you'd tell your listeners, hey, I said crime was down, but really, here's the proof, it's up. It's way up.
If I send my invitation to him to come here to tell my audience the price is down, would that be accepted?
Well, he'd just still lie. He'd say crime is down. And
and then I'll ask him about his statistics and put a number together how it is down.
Well, he came into office in 2015. Mm-hmm. And now we're in 2018.
Mm, only 3 years.
Robberies are up, aggravated assaults are up, murders are up, burglaries are up, property crimes, they're going all the way up through your ceiling.
Oh, wow.
And so these are the things. There's proof. He even has the proof. He just does not want to admit the truth.
That's not correct. That's totally wrong.
It is.
That's insane.
That's
insane. That's insane.
It's very misleading, but this is an election. And he's a politician. He's not the sheriff. He's a politician.
It doesn't surprise me if you tell me he's incapable of doing the job, because there are people who are incapable of doing something. I'm incapable of jumping to the roof.
Right, exactly.
I'm incapable of bending like a ballet dancer.
Right.
That's okay with me, because I'm not surprised. But if somebody says to me, if you tell me who can lie to you, in spite of the fact that the crime rate has been up for 56%,
it's up over 60%.
It's going, and as a matter of fact, up to 6%. To read this as a crime going down, though, I'm really surprised. I'm hugely surprised.
Well, you're a mathematician. I've seen you do your adding and subtracting in your division.
I can do that.
You do all that.
At least put some number together.
That's right. But when you take statistics, you can manipulate them. You can mix them up. You can do what you want with them. So if I say crime is down, and I say crime is down, well, it's down from yesterday to today. Okay? So crime is down in one day, but when you take the span of how long he has been here, and you look at what it was when he started and where he is today, it's horrific. People are not safe in Los Angeles County with him being the leader. But I will tell you, he's not leading. He's failing to lead by the fact that leaders go out and they let the community know exactly what's happening. Now look at, if I were the sheriff and crime was up and I was doing everything I could, then I'm doing the best that I can, but I tell the community the truth. And I go out.
Number
and then
one,
I
you tell
train them.
twos. Number two, you step down. Say, I'm sorry. I cannot handle. Okay, let somebody else do it. I can't handle, but I did my best, right? And then you still portray yourself a man of dignity. Number one, you don't lie. Number two, you have the guts to step down. You have neither. When you have neither, you are a liar in my eye.
Well, here's the thing. The LA Times is even suing the sheriff because he lacks transparency. He will not give them the truth, so they've had to sue him.
How come the public do not
truth.
know that? We need to know, deserve to know. Somebody needs to write and need to say something to let the public know that you are being lied upon, you're being cheated.
Well, Jack, you're the hero. You're the one telling the public.
I'm the one, I'm the one saying that.
We need more heroes because see, not everybody.
I need somebody to come here to debate me. I'm somebody to give me the fact and say I'm sorry, I know what's wrong. Okay, now however, I'll give you an example. I'm a smoker. I tell you I quit, right? And you say no. I saw you smoking an hour ago. Right. I said I just quit from 1 hour ago.
That's right.
So I didn't smoke for the past 60 minutes. Right. Well, how do you call that?
Well, that's the same as what he's doing. There hasn't been a murder in the last 17 seconds, so murders are down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is, but see, you have to look outside and you have to look for the truth. Don't always believe what you read. Don't always believe what you hear. Hear it and then go somewhere else and study it and look to see and find the truth.
Okay, all right. Okay, probably we have other ways to prove it.
Yes.
The crime rate is up or down. We'll let it stay there. the way it is, well, we'll prove it. My dear friends, my lovely fellow Angelinos, my dear fellow voters, okay, put it that way. Today, with me is my good friend, Mr. Bob Lindsay, Commander Bob Lindsay. He's been in the force of LASD for 32 glorious years, 28 out of which he has been on the leadership position. If you add 7 years of service in court, you're talking about he's been in the law enforcement for 39 years.
Yes, sir.
Right, good. All right, let's take a short moment. When we come back, we'll find out how exactly we can make points clear by sticking to the facts. Staying with us, please. Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences. Please come back to the show with my good friend, Commander Bob Lindsay. He's a man of his dignity, and he's a man of service. He's a man of, he means it, he does it. And that's not what I hold for at a very, very high. And for that, we want to tell you, we have good news for you. LA is going to change.
That's right.
LA is going to be safe. LA is going to be, okay, according to what I have, I did an interview with him, telephone interview with him last night, and he gave me this, that together with you, I will make Los Angeles the #1 safe county, the safest of America. Did you say that?
Yes,
okay,
I did.
Very good. So I want to find out how safe would LA be in his hands and how unsafe what we see now, right now. We all want to say that if you call an environment safe, you must have certain tactics to prove it is safe because job is done or jobs are done. Now what we see with the lack of manpower from 8,000 down to 5,000 and the 5,500 level, how can you make it safe? We used to have Asian Special Task Force, which helps to enhance the law enforcement. With that being ripped off, how you see a county safer, right? When you have the advisory board, public safety advisory board, working on a schedule, on a fixed schedule basis, to communicate with the community to see how we want to get safe. You have that board wiped off. How do you see safer county? So can you explain to me, or you want to help me?
Well, I'll help you, Jack, but you know, because you know what, you've been around the sheriff's department, you know the things that are happening because you've educated yourself. And I thank you for that. That's what everybody needs to do. So,
because I want to be protected. Okay, I'm selfish. I don't want to die.
Well, it's important that you understand your sheriff's department.
Of course.
It's important that you understand your police department. But first of all, when this sheriff came in, he got rid of the Asian groups that were advisors to the sheriff's department. So these were a group of businessmen and community people that would come in, talk to the sheriff, and say, these are the things that are wrong in the community. We need the sheriff's help here or here, and this is how we can help you, sheriff. When he came into office, he got rid of it. He just said, go away, I don't need you. The same thing that he did with the Asian Crime Task Force. Now, what is the Asian Crime Task Force? It was a group of deputies, investigators. They were dedicated to the Asian community, and their job was like superheroes. They were the ones...
Like Tom Yu.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They go into the community, and the bad guys knew who they were, and they were afraid of them. because they knew if they committed a crime, these guys would find them. Now that's been
deter the
removed.
bad guys. They get the puzzle solved.
That's right.
They get problem taken care of. And some of the cases I heard from Tom E. that within 6 hours he dissolved something. They dissolved something of like 8 weeks or so ever.
Right.
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 So let's say you have a house and you have an armed security guard in the front, and a burglar comes there. The burglar is going to look and go, I'm not going there. That was the same way with the task force. They were in the community, and the criminals said, oh, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go somewhere else, because these people were keeping the community safe. What did this sheriff do? He took them and went, "Phew, you're gone. You're out of here." And he just threw them away. They're gone.
Just to wipe it off the whole thing.
You don't have it anymore. It's just gone.
All right.
And so now you have the community with no protection. What you have is you have the community getting burglarized, getting robbed, all property stolen, businesses are being attacked by people who want your money. And then what happens? We come to the call rather than being there already and stopping it. So now we're just going and taking a report.
Let me ask you one detailed question.
Sure.
Is it because he is such a person that he is incapable of recognizing the importance of these systems? Or is it because of the fact the system was built under somebody's name who politically he doesn't like?
I think it's a combination of the two, because I'm going to tell you, when you have a
combination of the two.
When you have a program like this that helps the community, that saves the community, I can't even imagine why you would want to get rid of it. It's not a budget problem.
Me neither.
It's not a budget problem because they're doing police work on the streets. So that wasn't why he got rid of them. His comment was to one of the deputies on the task force, well, there's no crime in the Asian community. Well, I believe there's crime in every community. We have to stop that crime. And the sad part about it is right now in the community, there's a lot of people not reporting crime. And one, they're afraid. Two, there's no response sometimes.
Why would we report when the system is proven not to be working?
Well, that's the whole point, and that's the problem. So now when we say that there's been 10 burglaries, well, maybe there's been 40, but 30 of them nobody reported because they said it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
So the criminals go unpunished.
That's right.
So they run like free men.
Yes.
Right. So we celebrate the crime is down. Right. So we can close our eyes that we're safe. Right. And
That's right, Jack.
the moment you don't lie is that the moment you get killed already.
That's right. People right now need to stand up, and on June 5th they need to go out so that they're told the truth. They need the truth. That's the bottom line. They need to be told what's happening in their community. They need to be a part of the sheriff's department. They need the Asian Crime Task Force back out on the streets. They need safe streets. They need safe schools. They need to be protected so when they go home at night, they can feel much better.
There is also a question that remains in the whole area, in the whole category. I was asking you about people's impotence of doing their job, incapability of doing the job, right? And I was asking about people's political take that defines his likings or disliking, right? Anything in between, because this person, loves the community, right? Wants to do the job, right? Just kind of frivolously messed up, right? Just in other words, it doesn't know how to do the job. How about that?
Well, the current sheriff doesn't know how to do the job. He never worked in this department. So he's been in this department for only 3 years. I've been there for 40 years. I know the department. But it's not just that you don't know how to do your job. You still have to surround yourself with people who do know what they're doing. And no matter what, you always be transparent. You always tell people what's really happening. You don't hide it. Now, this particular sheriff has bad policies. He has terrible policies. He does not allow the deputies to talk. They cannot tell the truth about the department or they get punished. And so there's a lot of things that are being hidden out of fear. Deputies have fear of the sheriff. They know they can't speak the truth. They know they'll be retaliated against and moved or punished. And so the only people that can save the sheriff's department are the people out on the streets, the community. And they have to pay attention to what's going on. If they don't pay attention or they don't vote, then for the next 4 years, crime is going to get worse.
Yes.
Homelessness is going to get worse. The mental health situation is going to get worse. The disease is going to get worse with hepatitis A. And we can keep going on.
That's exactly the case. That's exactly the case. If you ask the community members, do you like a safer LA or do you like a riskier LA?
Right.
Of course, the answer is right there. You don't have to say it. Of
We
course,
want a safe
right?
LA.
Okay, now,
that's it.
And the question is that number one, they are being lied upon.
Yes.
Right. Number two, they are kept in the dark of the whole thing. Right. The only thing you can't close their eyes is that they started seeing the bad people running around. Right. They started seeing those ambulances going everywhere. How come we see more? Right. Okay. And then we don't see many cops on the street. How come? Where are they? Right. Things of that area
Right.
could be easily seen. Now, back to my question. I was asking you, either he was I'm just assuming, right, incapable guy of handling the job, or number two, he's a politician who takes only politically what he believed his own choice, or number three, he is neither. He is the one, knowing less than it is needed to do the job. Asking you for, dear community members, please give me a discount. Right, this is me, I know only this much. Do you think, if I back up even to the third options, do you think the community members would accept?
Well, I think the community members, when they hear somebody speaking, just want them to tell them what's actually going on. So I'll give you an example. He says that he has a trafficking program, in other words, human trafficking. It's one of the worst things that could ever happen to somebody. You're taking them, you have them enslaved to do sex work or to do whatever it is that you want them to do. And we have a task force that arrests the bad guy and saves the good people. But once you arrest the bad guy, you have to prosecute them. You have to take them to court. You have to find them guilty, and you have to put them in jail.
You gotta lock them up.
Right now, they're arresting them, but this sheriff doesn't know how to prosecute them. He doesn't know because he hasn't done that before. And so what's happening is they have a terrible prosecution rate. And that is an issue. That is an issue, because what that means is we're training the traffickers how to traffic, how to steal people's lives, and how to do that. So once again, this is one of the things he's saying he's doing wonderfully. Well, check the truth. Check the truth about crime. Check the truth about that program. Check the truth about him saying in the LA Times that ICE, we all know who ICE is.
Yeah, I know, of course.
ICE,
everyone knows ICE.
He said ICE is not in the jails. And then they did an inspection, and guess who was in the jails? ICE was in the jails. And then he says, oh, it's just a mistake. I didn't mean, no, it wasn't a mistake. He's the one who put them there 2 years earlier. So people need to do the research, people need to do it. But the other thing is the newspapers, the LA Times and all of these other newspapers need to start telling the truth. When they put out an article that says crime is down, well, then they should be sure crime is down. Because if it isn't, they need to correct that. You know, a lot of times the paper is told an untruth. They believe it to be true and they print it. But then when they're told the truth and they realize that somebody snookered them, somebody didn't tell them the truth, they need to fix the record for the community.
56% is not a small number, man. All right, you're talking about 56. 56 means 56 to me.
Right.
Right. So, my dear friends, let's take a short moment out. I feel like it's a really, really something of emergency that we want to make the call for. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, dear friends, lovely audience, and ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. If you happen to care about Los Angeles County, you better care about what we're talking about. Let me back up. If you care about your own wife, your own kids, your own house, whatsoever, and well, you better listen to what we talk about. If you care nothing else but myself, I don't want to die. That's it. Okay, you even have to listen to this show, but more what we're talking about, because we're talking about LA as a county getting crime rate not only up, skyrocketing. So you call 50% not a skyrocketing, better go back to school.
That's right.
Learn it again, right? Start from A, B, or C, whatsoever. Now, and then the deputies needed to handle the situation, to put the situation under control, are in such a shortage that you will surprise if later I will ask my friend Bob Lindsay to tell you the number. Right? And with the problem two versus each other, if somebody tells you the rate is down though, that itself is a lie. Because with this many people, with this many deputies, you can't handle that many problems.
No, you can't.
Either way, right? So, with me today to answer all these questions, I'm putting up some serious questions. I'm not babysitting. I need somebody tough to work there. All right, boom, 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 like that. 1, 2, 3. Get the job done like this.
That's right.
Right? Like if this guy has to be a demagogue, let the demagogue be on the job. Right? I want the job done. The community members needs one thing, very simple: to be safe. That's it.
That's it.
Right, good. Now, with me, my friend Bob Lindsay, one of the guys that I described. Hopefully, he will be the one. I believe I trust him more than anybody else. I started digging into his mindset since last August. Right, from August, we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, half a year already. Right,
sure,
more than half a year. So I believe that I know a lot about this individual. He has, number one, the experiences. Number two, the seniorities, because the soldiers, the deputies know, oh, that was my former commander.
Yes.
Right? Something like that. And then guys, open the door will get opened right away. Guys, close the door will be closed. So instruction will be followed. Right?
That's right.
And number three, the support. We know we have lots of support here, that lots of people supporting him, lots of endorsement, Most importantly, he, with his experience, especially on the leadership position, out of 32 years of experience, there are 28 where he was on leadership position. He knows exactly how the job needs to be done right for now. So I turned the question to him to prove the crime rate is down, right? When you have only 5,500 deputies, how you want to do the job?
Right. Well, the crime rate is up. It's not down. One.
No. I mean, when somebody say crime is down, and yet you have only 5,500, how do you want to prove it?
Well, we're down deputies. You know that we're down 1,200 to 1,500 deputies.
Yes.
So we don't have enough deputies to fight crime. First of all, and so second of all, they're afraid of the current sheriff. If you don't know this, 93% of the deputy sheriffs want me to be the sheriff. They don't want him to be the sheriff.
All right, good.
They need support from the community, first of all. And I know the community loves their deputies. And the sheriff needs to care about the deputies also, just like we do the community. So it's a teamwork. If you don't have a team working together, you're never going to solve crime. I solved so many crimes when I was a deputy by somebody calling me from the community and telling me what I needed to know. The real crime solvers many times are the community. because they're the ones that can fix all of this. But right now there's not a partnership, Jack. And the deputies don't want to work anymore because they know that they don't want to work for this sheriff. So when you have deputies that have quit working, when you have prisoners getting out of jail early, and remember we've said before, if you get arrested and convicted to a year, you only do 10 days. That means there's no penalty.
Flash incarceration. Yeah.
Flash incarceration. People from Riverside, from San Bernardino, from Orange County, from Ventura County come into LA County to commit their crimes. They come here because it's a safe crime zone. You can commit the crime and not do any time.
Has anybody ever created a term called the crime friendly?
Yeah, this is crime friendly. You just created it.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay.
Crime friendly.
Yes.
You want LA to be crime friendly? Well, of course, you got your choice, right? So, and the choice is here. And the part that I thank you very much for the explanation about the contradiction that I just laid up there. The thing is that, number one, you have a shorthand, a big shorthand of sheriff.
Right.
Right. Number two, as a result, the crime rate is up, and to deal with the still uprising crime rate, though, you're limited 5,500 of the deputies getting discouraged of doing their job, which is even worse, which is an add up to the already bad situation. Am I right?
Right. Well, it's even worse than that, Jack. So you have 1,500 deputies we don't have. You have 1,100 deputies that are under investigation. You have 380 that they've put off work. So now you have 15 plus 11, 26. So that's about 3,000 deputies right there that aren't working like they should. And then add another 1,000 that are injured or off. So half of your workforce.
And also on the payrolls, you got to constantly always to have somebody on vacation.
Well, you know what? You're educating me now because that's a whole nother one.
Yeah.
So you have half your work, half of your deputies aren't even there to work.
And somebody called in for sick emergency.
That's right.
I bumped my head onto the pole somewhere, something, right?
Yeah, but see, that's sad, Jack, that you would bring that up, and I'll tell you why. We had a sergeant about 3 or 4 days ago ask for a day off, and that sergeant was denied. They said, no, you can't have it off. Do you know where the sergeant wanted to go? To his dad's funeral.
Oh, no.
Now, the department said no, but because deputies are so resilient and they help each other, another sergeant came on his time off to work for this person for free.
Oh, God.
To cover his spot. So he could go to his dad's funeral.
That's heart.
Yep. Well, see, that's teamwork. That's teamwork. But this is not what should be happening.
That's what they call the brotherhood.
Yes.
The brotherhood.
Yes, sir.
And I believe something is wrong, totally wrong, because you have all the loose end that can meet, either this or that, right?
That's right.
Either this or that. You say, I'm overweight, and you watch me, you see, hey, by watching the way you eat, though, you can't be not overweight.
Sure.
Right?
That's right.
Like that.
And exercising.
Right? Now, when I'm overweight, and you see how I eat, you say, Jack, how come you did this little? And then, you know what? Something is wrong in the system.
That's right.
Either way. It can't go all your way. No, it can't go all your way. So it has its own way. That's my understanding by logic. Do you think so?
Yes. Well, we have to all be responsible, though. Right now, in Los Angeles County, there's a lot of people not being responsible. And again, if you go out and you come here and you say, look I can go commit a crime, I can take Jack's stuff, I can take his property, and nothing's going to happen to me, then there's a lot of people that would love to take your property. You worked hard for it. You worked every day for it, but they want it.
2 alley down here, there's a open space for parking.
Yes.
Right? It was 2 weeks ago, 2 cars were broken in.
Wow.
This morning, just 10 minutes prior to your arrival, there's another 2 were broken in already.
Wow. I park there, Jack, sometimes. So I know exactly where you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, okay. Probably they know you're the future sheriff. They are not to bother you. So for that, I, as a voter, start to worry about my car, right?
Well, we worry about our cars, we worry about our kids, we worry about everything now.
Everything.
And we need to take the worry out by just turning this whole system around.
Yes.
And it can be fixed.
Yes.
I can fix it, and I can fix it by hiring enough deputies. I can fix it by dealing with a homeless situation. I can fix it by doing something with a mental health situation. You know, we have people in the jail who have already been deemed they can't go to court because they're incompetent.
Let's take a short moment out. I'm really prepared some questions for you about what you want to do to just live up to the hopes for lots of constituents. I believe that even me myself, lots of my friends will decide to vote for you and to not let them down, right? So let's take a very short moment out. We come back. We put everything together. All right. So we'll be right back, my dear friend. Things will get better. I promise. Hello, my lovely folks, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, my dear fellow Angelinas, whoever, my fellow Americans, to my responsible fellow Angelinos. How about that, right? Welcome back to the show. Jack Xiao, getting a little excited because I'm seeing something I'm not supposed to see. Because when the crime rate is up, it is up. Everybody calls up, it's up. And then unless you put your head upside down, you call it down. Other than that, everybody sees it, the crime rate up. We're light upon this one thing, especially at the critical moment when we are about to cast our vote on somebody. So what if something happens, we put our vote on the wrong head?
That's right.
That's serious.
That's serious.
And by doing that, though, LA will run continuously like we do. And you are lucky last turn you survive, then probably you can't survive the second turn. The second turn you get killed, right? Okay. And I'm lucky the car broken in was not my car, and I'm not lucky the second term could be my car, something like that. So with me to answer all the questions, to get to the point with hard questions, hardcore questions, is my good friend, Commander Bob Lindsay of LA County Sheriff, for 32 years of glorious service with huge experiences from jail to highway, from interior investigation to outside investigation to detective, always. And he's even, you were involved in lots of recruiting.
Yes,
right?
I was a captain in personnel, hired hired about 7,000 deputies, Jeff.
All right, good. And he is running for the sheriff position. As a matter of fact, he has a better life to do than that, with grandkids and that lovely family, lovely wife, and everything. It is just the situation, the status quo of LA has becoming unbearable.
Yes.
Right. So, for unbearable, and you must have prepared yourself. And yesterday, when I was calling you, when we talk about this, and I pick up the points, and I check the points with what we see as advertising of your team. Well, I'm going to check with you about how you want to stop those, to change those. You use the big word to reverse.
Sure.
The reverse the negative impact, right?
That's right.
The negative impact, right? So how do you, sir, prepare yourself to reverse the negative impact? We have so many negative impacts.
Well, there are so many areas we could talk about, Jack, but my 40 years of experience, when I come into the Sheriff's Department and begin to run it, I know where to put people. So we have so many people out of place on the Sheriff's Department. And the first thing we need to do is we need to take executives who know what they're doing in certain places, and we need to have them manage all these various places. I don't know if your viewers know, we have the community colleges, we have the trains, we have hospitals, we have county buildings, we have patrol,
Corps, yeah.
we have custody, we have courts, we have an aero fleet, we have search and rescue, we have SWAT teams, and we could go on for another 5 minutes with all of the things we have. But everything that we have needs attention because all the parts work together. And if any of the parts are broken, bad things happen. Right now, there are so many things broken that you have to go in and fix the car, right?
All right. Okay,
so what we need to do is go in and take the car, but we don't just fix the spark plugs. We have to dismantle this car like this. We have to take the muffler, send it out. We have to send it to the right executives so that they can begin
like
fixing
your
it
doctor, can you give you an
That's
overall
right.
checkup?
It's an overall checkup, and we can do
yeah.
it all at once if you have the right people doing the checkup.
But they have to have an experiences.
They have to have experience. Right now, we have people leading this department.
How many years of experience does this person have?
Many years, many years. We have people that are willing to come in that have.
No. I mean the current sheriff.
Oh,
how many years he have?
He only has 3.
I just want to find out the pictures for comparison.
He has 3 years of experience in the sheriff's department. He has many years over with LAPD, but let me tell you, it's very much different. In fact, at LAPD, they wouldn't make him the police chief. They didn't think he was qualified for the job. So he's not qualified for the city of LA, but then he's the sheriff of the entire county.
He qualified for the whole county.
It makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Okay, right. I'm not qualified the EDI. I can qualify myself for California State.
There
Like that, right? Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now back to your tactic, though. You after this physical checkup, I mean head to toe overall checkup, though. What do you want to do?
Well, we need to hire. That's one of the checkups, though. See, we
Okay.
have to go in there. Right now, when I used to run that unit, we used to have 4 teams in recruitment and backgrounds. When he came in, he began taking those bodies and moving them like to be his driver and to do other things. He needed to leave those bodies.
How many
in
drivers
there.
he had last time you mentioned?
He has 9 people
9.
assigned to his security team. So, and that's, you know what, the previous sheriff.
Is it by law required that a sheriff needs to have 9 drivers?
No, in fact, remember Mr. Baca, Sheriff Baca, he had 1 driver, and then Sheriff Sherman Block had 1 driver, but this guy comes in and gets himself
How many
9.
drivers are you planning on having yourself?
1.
One.
I only need 1.
I volunteer to be
and
one.
actually, I could
I
drive
can drive
myself.
cars. Okay.
I could drive myself, but you're on the phone so much.
Are you saying he
and you're
doesn't
doing
drive?
things. No. He's a passenger. He has 2 people, 2 deputies go up in front of him to make sure everything's okay, so that he can go to the restaurant and nobody is going to hurt him in there. And then they say, "Okay, Sheriff, you can come in now."
Is he in the bulletproof?
I don't know if his car is bulletproof or not, but I don't know.
If you act like that, though.
I know his car cost about $100,000, so we could have bought several patrol cars for that.
So for that amount of money.
Instead of his
Very
one
good.
car he drives.
Speaking
around.
of counter or overturn or the impact, though, to convert the impact, though, there's also a discipline to talk about. A discipline where you encourage your deputies to go. And last time, by hearing your story about the 2 deputies being chastised for chasing bad guys, that indicates to me that the policies were wrong. How do you want to do? How do you want to make your policy to overturn the direction that the department encouraged the deputies to do?
Well, you know what? The policies are backwards right now. As times change, you need to change your policies. And I'll give you an example. There was an individual, a deputy, who brought somebody to a wrestling match. And somebody there at the wrestling match said, well, that deputy just brought a parolee in here with him. Now, the rules say that you can't be with a parolee. So they did an investigation, but they put this guy at home. This deputy at home said, you can't come back to work because you were with a parolee. He was at home for almost a year. They did the investigation. You know what they found out? The person he brought there wasn't a parolee at all. It was just his friend. So here you have a deputy who was punished for a year, and he didn't do anything wrong at all. And there's case.
At least you're one man short for a year.
Yes, and there's case after case after case of this sheriff overreacting to things rather than finding out the truth and then doing something about it. The deputy is guilty until they can prove themselves innocent. It's backwards. Nobody should be guilty of anything. Nobody in the community, nobody in the police department, nobody anywhere unless you're proven guilty. But that's not how the sheriff's department works today.
Okay, okay. Very good. And then how you want to restore the Asian Task Force and also the advisory board, please.
Well, the advisory boards will be immediate. Jack, I've already asked you to be on that advisory board.
Oh, thank you.
And so we need people in the media so that we are transparent. We want you to know what we are doing. So we need you, we need business leaders, we need church leaders to be sitting down with me personally saying, this is what we need to do to make our community safer, to make it better, to make youth programs better, and whatever else we can do to team up. All of us can go out and get private resource money, right? It just doesn't have to be county money, and it certainly doesn't have to be your personal money, but there are entrepreneurs out there who want to help the community.
Exactly. Oh, remember last time when you were there at the forum, though, there are lots of business owners, they kind of expressed their willingness to do so, to be your advisors, and to be on the board to help with LA.
Well, the business owners are the best people to have because they know what's going on. And sadly, at that forum, one of the business owners actually said he had quit reporting the crimes because he
lost his confidence.
He was so frustrated with the police department.
That's Mr. Liu. He said, well, look, okay, I forget it. I took it easy. Why bother like that? Because it doesn't work in that way. Right?
That's right. He wasn't getting satisfaction from the police department. But see, if Mr. Liu or one of his friends were sitting on this panel and they came in and talked to me about that.
They can feedback the info.
That's right.
And then, well, on a constant basis of work. And, oh, by the way, we're running short of time, but I still want to check with you. Let it overtime be overtime anyway. The Asian Task Force, how you want to install that, please?
Well, it has to be restored immediately. And what I would do is bring back people who were on that task force so that they could train new people, because some of them have now retired, like Tom Yu. He has retired, but he
was a good one. I know him.
He has the skills to solve the crimes. We need to get detectives, investigators back out into the Asian community.
And John Paul is one of them, right?
These are all great people that can come in and immediately start solving crimes. There's a lot of crimes right now in the Asian community that aren't even being investigated. They're unsolved. We need to solve them and get those people who committed those crimes into jail.
All right, all right. And it sounds that you are ready from all directions. And with your 32 years of experiences, with your leadership experiences, with the brothers and sisters supporting of 95% of all the deputies.
Yes.
And I believe that I have no doubt that the office is yours.
Thank you, Jack.
However, I want you to win, not only win, but I want you to win big time.
We need to win June 5th. June 5th, people need to vote if they want safe
I'll give you my next 30 seconds to let out your message to your constituents.
Sure.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I need you to go to bob4sheriff.com. Go there and learn all about me. I know we've interviewed here a lot, but if you want to know more, go to bob4sheriff.com. On June 5th, it's important that you go vote because your vote matters. Your vote is worth 10 votes because a lot of people don't show up. So if you want your community to be safe, if you want the Asian Crime Task Force to come back, if you want your schools protected, if you want crime to go down, if you want to get rid of the homeless problem, then vote for me, Bob Lindsay, on June 5th.
All right. I believe my audience will do that. And I know I want to vote, and my whole family want to vote you.
Thank you.
Okay. And my son is above 18. He can vote too.
That's great.
We got one more. Good. All right. But we're over time, but we're worth it. So thank you, my dear audiences, for watching. And please keep that in your mind. Jack want to make the last call. Go out to vote and vote for Bob Lindsay. Right? Promise.